Our major focus tonight is the floods and heavy rainfall across at least 6 states, including Goa, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh and parts of Orissa, Karnataka, Telangana and Kerala. Let's just go across to Saurabh, who's live currently from Ratnagiri. Saurabh, the reports you've been sending through the day shows the devastation by this record rainfall. What is it like right now where you are?
Well, it's still drizzling, but the rains have definitely let up for just a bit. But when they come in very heavy showers and one cannot see anything. The showers are so heavy. Now, across Chiploon, across several other places, the stories of devastation have been unfolding before our eyes. People emptying out their shops because whatever they had inside damaged. People's vehicles completely washed away or, dumped almost with slush. And that's the kind of situation and visuals that's been playing out in place after place in Ratnagiri. In Mahad, neighboring Raigad district, people have died in a massive landslide. In other places too, the road and communication networks are suffering because of the heavy rain. And in Chiploon, power has not yet returned. Neither has the telephone connectivity fully. So all of this has been happening as the heavy rain continues, with more forecast for heavy rain, which means the humanitarian crisis may continue. Here's what we caught on our cameras throughout the day. Where we're traveling on in the boat is actually a street. It's a street that has a hospital on it, and we're traveling along the street because the water is yet to recede. We're traveling along the street in a boat, and we'll reach the hospital, and then of course patients will be transferred to the boat, and then they'll be taken to the nearest spot where ambulances can come. COVID patients in dire need of oxygen being rescued in boats as hospitals remain marooned. Patients are still being rescued from hospitals. They need oxygen, so there's an oxygen cylinder in this ambulance. And this is of course 24 hours after the flood struck Chiploon. Here on the boat you can see rescuers bringing out another people, checking the oxygen levels of these patients and giving them oxygen. They've been in a hospital that's been surrounded by water. They've been rescued on boat, and now of course they'll be transferred to another hospital by ambulance.
10 पेशेंट है वहाँ पे, क्रिटिकल कंडीशन में है. ये सब ऑक्सीजन वाले थे, जो क्रिटिकल है उनको हम पहले ले रहे हैं.
ये कोविड पेशेंट्स है क्या?
सब कोविड पेशेंट है वहाँ पे, और वो ग्राउंड फ्लोर पूरा पानी से भर गया है.
हमारा O2 प्लांट अभी आप दे सकते हैं. अभी कैमरा इधर घुमाइए. O2 प्लांट चल रहा है. इसके लिए कोई भी कैजुअलिटी इधर हुआ नहीं है, फॉर द गॉड सेक. तो O2 प्लांट हमारे स्टाफ ने इतनी बारिश होके, इतना फ्लड एरिया होके भी O2 प्लांट चालू रखा है.
The record rainfall has turned fatal. 36 people have died in a massive landslide in Mahad in Raigad district. Elsewhere, people are being shifted to safer buildings. The severity of the situation seen in these visuals. A woman desperately hangs on to a tire and falls into the water just as rescuers are about to reach her. Water has submerged the ground floor of many buildings.
कल सुबह 5 बजे से पानी भर रहा और दिन में पानी रहा था. तीन बार पानी भरा. हमारे घर में छपरों में पानी था.
This is the heaviest rainfall in July for 40 years in Maharashtra's Konkan region. Mahabaleshwar recorded an all-time high in the last 24 hours this morning. Helicopters are being used to evacuate people from the flooded regions of the district.
हाच तो परिसर आहे की जिथे कोरोनाचं संकट अजूनही आपल्याला चिंताजनक वाटतंय आणि आहेच. तर अशा वेळेला पहिल्या प्रथम जीवितहानी होऊ न देणं हे आपल्या सगळ्यांचं एक महत्त्वाचं काम आहे. त्याचा आटोकाट प्रयत्न सुरू आहे.
One team of 5th Battalion NDTV have been deployed here, and from yesterday night onwards we have been rescuing the people, and so far we have rescued around 150 people.
A red level alert has been extended for today and tomorrow. That means extremely heavy rain. But even beyond that, heavy rain is likely to continue till Tuesday, and the humanitarian crisis is likely to worsen. In Ratnagiri with camera person Rajendra Dayalkar, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
A natural disaster there. Look at the devastation, all caused by extreme rainfall, which is not just in Maharashtra. Just look at the above normal 24-hour rainfall till 8:30 this morning. Look at Odisha, Baudan, Odisha, where it is 2,438% above normal. Look at Haveri, Karnataka. Again, it's over 2,136% above normal. In Belgaum, Karnataka, also it's 1,791% above average. The same in Dharwar, Betul, Madhya Pradesh, 1,247% above average. Kolhapur, 993%. Satara, Pune, 589% just in the last 24 hours of rainfall. So extremely unusual rainfall events happening there. And not just Maharashtra, but also, of course, our big focus on the other states. Our special report now from Telangana.
आपके लिए बैंसा पुलिस आ गया, आपके लिए बैंसा पुलिस आ गया, घर में अंदर कोई है तो बाहर आओ, और पानी बढ़ जा रहा है, फर्स्ट फ्लोर में, सेकंड फ्लोर में, कहाँ भी रहे तो बाहर आओ, आपके लिए बैंसा पुलिस आ गया, बाहर आओ, घर में कोई है क्या?
150 residents in Bhaisa and another 200 from Nirmal town were rescued after flooding in Telangana's worst affected Nirmal district. The district administration and fishermen pitched in to rescue even before the NDRF came in.
NDRF boats వస్తాయి అప్పుడు 2020 capacity boats వస్తాయి ఇప్పుడు only women, old age and elderly.
Nirmal district got a record 50 centimeters rain from Wednesday, 28 centimeters in the first 24 hours. Add to that heavy inflows into the Godavari from Nanded in Maharashtra. NH44 was flooded. Breaching of embankments left Nirmal town flooded and fishermen brought out nets to catch fish right on the road. In Nizamabad, NDRF teams managed to rescue those stranded at an ashram. A red alert has been sounded in 9 districts and there is flooding in 16 out of the 33 districts. Not just Nirmal, the whole of Telangana received 60% excess rains in June and July. Add to that the heavy inflows from the upper riparian states into the already overfull lakes and rivers. Plus the encroachments that have caused the Hyderabad floods last year has become a challenge in every location. With camera person Nagraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
Well, moving to other news, the entire first week of the monsoon session has been a complete washout after the Pegasus spyware scandal. Today, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi said that every single phone of his is being tapped. In fact, he said he's not a potential target on the Pegasus spyware list. He is being surveillance is being done of his phones illegally. He said, in fact, IB officials have told him this as well. This, as the Congress said, they want a judicial probe into the Pegasus scandal. Meanwhile, today, a TMC MP who grabbed the statement, the papers from the IT minister and tore it, has been suspended for the rest of the monsoon session.
The House is adjourned to meet at 12.
स्थगित की जाती है.
The House stands adjourned
स्थगित की जाती है.
to meet at 11 o'clock on Monday.
Lok Sabha was stalled twice, Rajya Sabha thrice, with the opposition demanding the government disclose whether it had bought the Pegasus software to monitor opposition leaders.
No, it is not a potential target. My phone is tapped. It is clearly tapped. I get phone calls from IB people who tap my phone. Okay, they call me up and say, please be aware that we are tapping your phone. My security people tell me, right, that they have to debrief what I say. They have to report to their seniors everything I say. So I am under no pretensions that I am not tapped. This has to be investigated and the Home Minister has to resign.
However, the government rejected any possibility of any inquiry into the phone hacking issue.
इन्हीं आरोप है गृह मंत्रालय पे कि गलत तरीके से विपक्षी नेताओं का
आप देखें ना कि कौन लोग आरोप लगा रहे हैं, वही लोग हैं जो राजनीतिक रूप से असफल सिद्ध हो गए हैं.
The confrontation between the opposition and the government further soured, with the Trinamool Shantanu Sen being suspended for the rest of the monsoon session for tearing the IT minister's statement. The standoff between the opposition and the government seems unlikely to be resolved, and the government will have to find a way out to break the impasse. In New Delhi, Sunil Prabhu, NDTV.
Well, moving to the other big headline, and that was Zomato's blockbuster listing on the stock markets today. Founder Dipinder Goyal is now worth $650 million, and at one point, Zomato touched the 1 lakh crore market cap as well.
Okay, catch.
Zomato's Big Bang initial share offering had a big bang opening day. The food delivery app's founder Dipinder Goyal tweeted, "I don't know whether we will succeed or fail. We will surely, like always, give it our best. But I hope that the fact that we are here inspires millions of Indians to dream bigger than we ever have and build something way more incredible than what we can dream of." The first day saw its 76 rupee share debut at 115 rupees, a premium of 52.6%. Within minutes, its market cap was over 1 lakh crore, more than decade-old giants like BPCL, Tata Motors and Mahindra. Zomato closed at rupees 125 per share after hitting a high of 138 per share.
Despite a 9,000 crore IPO, which is the 7th largest till date, we have seen fresh demand on listing.
These eyes-popping numbers make Zomato's 9,375 crore IPO even more important for a lineup of other Indian startups planning to go public. These include Paytm, which says it'll be India's biggest IPO yet, as well as others like MobiKwik and Delivery. Unlike traditional companies which create value through profits, many of these are loss-making companies and some don't even promise profits in the near future. Instead, like the tech giants of the US, they promise growth, cornering the market in their fields like fintech or logistics or even food delivery. Many have expansion plans which translates into jobs and growth. Zomato's shown that investors in India have a voracious appetite for these. With Sakshi Bajaj and Chetan Bhattacharjee, Usama Shab for NDTV.
So a whole new breed of millionaires created with that Zomato listing. But let's go across to, well, what's a cricket match perhaps, but a huge political match. And that, of course, is Navjot Singh Sidhu's takeover today as Punjab Congress chief. He used a batting gesture as he stepped up as the new PCC chief on stage. But it was no doubt that there's jostling about who the real captain of the Punjab Congress will be as they met, the chief minister and him, for the first time after much publicized rift. It was cordial, but the tension was evident. Also, what's undecided is who will be the Congress's chief minister face going into the elections.
Bitter rival for months, now exchanging pleasantries. Chai Pe Charcha seemed to be the perfect way to exempt a thaw in an otherwise cold relationship between the captain and Sidhu. But on the special day for Sidhu, as he was formally installed as Congress chief, the signs of tension were visible again. Both leaders seen taking pot shots. The captain, not mincing his words, asking Sidhu to unite the party against Pakistan, an oblique reference to allegations against Sidhu of being soft on Pakistan, given his praise and bonhomie with Imran Khan.
और ये पाकिस्तानी और चीनी इकट्ठे हो गए और हम तीजा इन्होंने साथी मिल गया जरा अमेरिका छड़ के अफगानिस्तान चले गया उन्होंने तालिबान ने आके भी कश्मीर के बॉर्डर ते बहना और साडे पंजाब के बॉर्डर ते बहना नवजोत तुसीं उधर गल्लां कर रहे हो थानू ये लड़ाई लेनी पऊगी लोगों नूं जोड़ना पऊ.
And when Sidhu moved to the stage, his gesture said enough of what was to come. Sidhu took no time in reminding the captain of the various issues in his governance.
क्यों बिजली 18 रुपये ਨੂੰ ਖਰੀਦੀ ਜਾਵੇ ਮਸਲੇ ਨੇ ਜੀ ਮਸਲੇ ਹੱਲ ਕਰਨੇ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹੋ 3 ਲੱਖ ਕਰੋੜ ਰੁਪਏ ਦਾ ਕਰਜ਼ਾ ਇਹ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਤੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਹੈ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਾਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਚੱਲੂਗਾ ਮੈਂ ਸ਼ਰਮ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੀ ਚਮੜੀ ਮੋਟੀ ਹੈ.
Sidhu's speech leaving no doubt that he wants to steer the Congress ship in the state, even saying that he would shift to the Congress headquarters from the 15th August and stay there till the end of elections.
आज उस पार्टी के एमपी विचों एक भी आज शामिल नहीं सी क्योंकि किसानां प्रति अपनी जिम्मेवारी नहीं उन्होंने वो ताजपोशी जिहड़ी चंडीगढ़ च हो रही है वो ज़्यादा जरूरी लगी.
So who exactly will be in the driver's seat in Punjab Congress, captain or Sidhu? Could this mean that the CM-ship is also not far behind? This question made principal negotiators in the party extremely uncomfortable. फिर मुख्यमंत्री का चेहरा कौन होगा आगे आने वाले चुनाव में?
साइड पे नो अभी कोई बात नहीं हुई, हो ही नहीं सकती जी. अभी हमें काम करने दो, उसके बाद देखेंगे जब इलेक्शन है.
The Congress may be having a sigh of relief that a crucial leadership issue has been resolved. Opposition in the state questions both the exercise and its futility.
Moving to the other big news, and this is a drone with an improvised explosive device which was shot down by the police in Jammu at 1 a.m. this morning. They said they've averted a major terror attack after a drone attack on an Air Force base just a month ago.
A rare catch. This drone carrying an improvised explosive device was shot down in Jammu.
पुलिस टीम ने उस पे फायरिंग की.
The police say they stopped a major terrorist attack. There have been several drone intrusions since two dropped improvised bombs at a border Air Force base last month. But this is the first time since then that a drone has been seized.
कल रात हमें एक स्पेसिफिक इनपुट मिली, एक ड्रोन नजर आया. पुलिस टीम ने उस पे फायरिंग की. उस पे एक आईडी थी जो तकरीबन तैयार हालात में थी. इन्होंने एक ही सीरीज के कई फ्लाइट कंट्रोलर्स लिए हैं और मुख्तलिफ ड्रोन्स में लगा के वो भेजते रहते हैं.
Police say they had specific information about terrorists dropping a payload by drone in the Akhnur sector. The hexacopter drone carrying 5 kilograms of IED was shot down over 6 kilometers into Indian territory. Drones have increasingly been used for arms dropping in Jammu and Kashmir along the border with Pakistan for the last 1.5 years. 16 AK rifles, 3 US-made M4 rifles and 34 pistols dropped by drones have been recovered.
Police say anti-drone system has been put in place at important installations, but it was a specific and actionable intelligence that helped them to shot down the drone carrying an IED a month after twin drone attacks at Air Force Base in Jammu. In Srinagar, Nazir Masoodi for NDTV.
Well, moving to the latest COVID data, we've crossed just over 35,000 cases in the last 24 hours. The good news is that's down by 14.5%. Deaths also are down, 483 deaths in the last 24 hours. The recovery rate remains high and the daily positivity rate is at 2.12%. The vaccinations are what need to be really stepped up. But the good news is that overall cases are down. Globally also, if we look, the United States battling with the Delta variant is now topping global numbers at over 56,000 cases. Brazil is second, nearly 50,000, then the United Kingdom. Now remember, of course, their population is so small in the United Kingdom. Just look at how high their cases are, but the deaths are relatively low because of high vaccinations. India at number 4 in the global table, followed by Russia at nearly 24,000 cases.